Yo, what's going on, guys? Incarnate HD, or doing Incarnate here, and what you guys are watching right now is the world's first double chem strike on Ignition. Now, before I introduce, the player and the gameplay and stuff, I do want to say this is actually the first ever recorded double chem strike on Ignition. There has been another one by a player named Desires, and the person who got this gameplay, Doom Crackers, Yums Crackers, actually did want me to say that to you guys, that Yums does acknowledge that someone else has gotten the double chem before him on this map, but technically this is the first ever recorded one, so this is the first one you're going to be seeing. So good stuff, Desires getting the first ever double chem on Ignition, but Yums managed to get his recorded. So getting into the gameplay, obviously, as I said before, this is by Doom Crackers, Yums Crackers, and this guy is literally good at every single Call of Duty game. It's actually pretty ridiculous. Every single Call of Duty game. I think he has the record for most kills in, I think, 3 or 4 CODs at this point, which is pretty crazy. So, I know he has the most in MW2, the most in Ghosts with support, or he might not actually have the most in Ghosts. I know he has the most, most in MW2, most in COD 4, most in World at War, and most in MW3. So, that is, I think that's 3 games, which that's absolutely insane to me. So, really good job there to Yums. Now, this is actually the Scrapyard remake for you, those of you who haven't played the map pack yet. He's using the new gun, the Maverick, with the Honey Badger assault rifle. I mean, the Maverick, in my opinion, it's a pretty good gun. It's better than the Peacekeeper was. That was a DLC gun from Black Ops 2. But they're different. The Maverick's an AR, the Peacekeeper was an SMG, but the Peacekeeper really did feel like an assault rifle, and I felt like it was really overpowered. A lot of people say it was bad, but to me the damage was so high. I don't know, I might just be delusional, but the Peacekeeper seems so good, and it would make sense if it's good, right? Because, Treyarch would want you to buy the DLC so you could get the good gun, and I feel like that was kind of an incentive for everyone to buy the map, so I feel like the Maverick, in my opinion, is a really good AR, actually. I do feel like it outclasses some of the other ARs in this game, and it's actually an AR that I'd use a lot, and gameplays are starting to become more popular with. Now, I know recently, obviously, you've seen a lot of gameplays with it because it's the new gun, and everyone's trying to get gameplays with it, but I think in the future, you'll still see gameplays with it, just because of how consistent this gun is. I mean, the damage is really high. The kick is, it's not unbearable, but it's a little hard to control, but the foregrip takes care of that, of course. But some people can use it without foregrip. Foregrip really isn't necessary. I like to use a red dot on it because the iron sights are weird, like, with the way it kicks. But, as well as he's using the Honey Badger with foregrip and, red dot, which that's a really common setup. And a little fun fact about this gameplay, I guess you could say, this was actually Yums' first chem on the DLC, and he managed to get a double. Now, what you might notice is he's actually playing in a 4-man party. Now, we're going to clear that up at this point. Basically, it's a 4-man party. It doesn't really matter at this point because, it's not supported. I mean, there's no big deal about it. It's, it's not supported. They're not holding down spawns that much. I mean, you'll see that they will flip throughout the gameplay. And it's not like people are, each manning their own spots. Everyone's running specialist, and everyone's trying to get chems just as much as Yums is. And he does manage to, obviously, get the double in this gameplay as he picks up the first one there. So, what I want to talk about for the remaining 5 minutes of this commentary, 5.5 minutes of this commentary, 4.5 minutes of this commentary, are my opinions on the new DLC. Now, if you guys know me, I've been doing a relatively large amount of commentaries on the channel. Most of my commentaries are opinion-based, and I want to hear other people's opinions. That's mostly what I do. So, basically, what I'm going to be talking about in this commentary is the new maps, and my opinions on each of them. I'm going to try and run through really quickly, and I haven't played Extinction yet, but, so first one, Containment. This map, to me, it's really small, which I like small maps, but I find that that nuke in the middle of the map is just really stupid and just out of place and just kind of a thing that they had to make it look like the map had something different. Now, the map would have been fine if that wasn't there. I don't like how it kind of jams your radar. That's really weird. And that's not really a good gameplay map, just due to the fact that the spawns are completely inconsistent. I mean, one time you could have someone spawning in a relatively decent spot, and then they'll spawn right in front of you. Like, if you're sitting on that building at B, no matter what flag they have, you can literally watch them spawn. I've witnessed it a few times where you just, literally, they're not there, and then they are. So, the spawns are really hectic on that map. I'm not too big of a fan of it. Out of 10, I think I might actually give it maybe a 5 or 6. It's just not really a fun play for domination, to be honest. And yeah, so next is Bayview. Bayview, I haven't played enough to give you like a real solid opinion on, but from what I have played of the map, I don't know. I mean, the map in itself, it's laid out weird, and it benefits to campy players more than it does rushy players, because there's so many places to camp on that map. If you look how it's laid out, there's building after building, and just corners people can sit in, and that stuff gets really annoying. You know, we've seen it in the past CODs, where people like to camp and stuff, and, you know, we're just tired of campy maps, you know. I wish there was just a map where people could rush on, and just, you know, there weren't really any camping spots, but I know that's so far-fetched, and that's never going to happen, because just simply it can't, just in the way maps work in Call of Duty. There can't be a map where everyone rushes. There's always going to be at least that one guy. So, Bayview, I like the trolley. That's fun for search and rescue. You can hide in the trolley and pop out and stuff, but I don't really play search and rescue, so it doesn't really matter to me, but I have played it a little bit in the new Mosh Pit playlist, or the new DLC playlist, my bad. And, yeah, Bayview, overall out of 10, thinking maybe give it a 7. So, the next map is Ignition, which is the Scrapyard remake. In my opinion, this is the best map out of the map pack. Scrapyard, probably one of the best maps from MW2, you know, and it's still good in this game. Even though the playstyles in this game and MW2 are, you know, complete opposites of each other, I still feel like Scrapyard's a really viable map to get gameplays on. Like, I feel like it still works just as well as it, or not just as well, but it works really well in this game. The spawns are still hectic. And, yeah, it's a fun map in this game. Maybe not as good as it was in MW2, but the underground part, in my opinion, is straight up just stupid. Like, there's no reason to ruin a good map that way. I mean, some people like it, but it really does benefit campers, and that kind of bothers me a little bit. But, overall, Scrapyard, or Ignition, I give it a 9 out of 10. I really like this map. Alright, now getting into the last map, we have Fog. Now, this map, it can be a 1 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. It really just depends on the enemies you have. One game you can have people just literally just sitting in that building, circle jerking it away, and then other time you could do so well and like you could play it so well. But I mean, it's just such a weird map because it's so enemy dependent. If your enemies aren't good to get gameplays against, you're not going to have a good time. I mean, there's other maps where you could play against fairly skilled enemies and still do well, but this map, if you're going up against people that are straight just sitting in that building, I mean, it's so hard to do well against those people because they're practically untouchable up there with all those head glitches and all that cover. It just really doesn't seem necessary for them to add a building. Obviously, people are going to camp in there, so it seems a little peculiar to me as to why they would add that, I guess. But, Fog out of 10, I would probably have to give it, you know, a 3 out of 10 on a bad game and maybe a 9 or 8 out of 10 on a good game because it really does vary. It's so dependent on your enemies. But once again, these are all just my opinions. You know, leave your opinions in the comments below. Rank the maps from 1 being the best, 4 being the worst, as the Yums gets the Chem Strike there for the double Chem Strike. First one recorded on Ignition, the Chem Strike actually doesn't get to go off, so if you guys did listen all the way through this, comment the word keyboard, and make sure to subscribe to Yums' channel, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys for watching this gameplay and the commentary. This is actually an 8-minute video, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this, you know, kind of slow gameplay, kind of long gameplay. My name is Incarnate, or Incarnate HD, and as always, I'm out. I gotta say peace.